Hello and welcome to a new series where we take a look at some of your favorite songs and just see what they're all about. These are song reviews, and I'm going to grade the songs on a grade scale, and I'll display it here. F will be a song I don't like, A will be a song I really like, and if I think the song is just really that good, I will give it a gold rating. So stay tuned and see what your song gets. Today we'll be discussing Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper, because it's about that time of year, Halloween. Don't Fear the Reaper is one of the most terrifying yet beautiful songs that you will ever hear. So let's go ahead and take a look. Whenever my cousins and my brothers and I would always hang out, we would always make up some crazy stories to tell, like especially around Halloween. And Don't Fear the Reaper was one of the songs that we kind of built this lore around. Basically, whenever the song would come out on the radio, somebody somewhere would die. And that's probably true, but for the longest time, this song really actually scared me as a child. And growing up, I kind of look back on it with fond memories, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this song scared me. This song was performed by Blue Oyster Cult and written by their lead guitarist, Buck Dharma. The song is about the acceptance of death, and Dharma wrote it with the idea of dying at a young age. Some have speculated that this song could be about a mutual suicide pact because it mentions Romeo and Juliet. But Dharma states it's just about accepting death, and it is kind of a love song between whether it be like a grim reaper or angel of death and someone about to die, because it does have elements of love within the song. Looking at the lyrics, especially the last verse, I think the idea lends itself to Dharma's favor. I don't really think it's about a suicide pact. A song about a suicide pact probably would not pass in the 70s, and you can probably guess why people were outraged back then. When this song was released, looking at the reference Romeo and Juliet, I can kind of see why people would jump to that conclusion. Even though the concept is a bit off, the reference still makes sense to me, because lyrically, it's about someone convincing someone else that they should die. And it doesn't really explain details on how that person is dying. Is that person sick, or is a death inevitable? It doesn't really go into that. Lyrically, though, this song is top tier lyrically. And it's a really good read, even if it were just a poem. Choruses in music typically repeat, and back then in the 70s, the song form was kind of more free. You didn't kind of know what you were going to get, and this song kind of shows some experimentation. The chorus has different lyrics. The final chorus has different lyrics than the first two, and the melody in the verses kind of changed too. In the final chorus, they actually conclude the story, so I think that's really cool. Also, the way Dharma sings this song is also important to take note of as well. Even though the lyrics are very demanding, because it's convincing someone to do something, the tone is very soft and it's very serious. Like, it's a very touchy subject, explaining someone why they should die. And it's done in this very soft tone. I think a lot of times, like when I hear people talk about this song, sometimes they interpret it as, oh, the devil is singing to someone, convincing them to die. Because they associate I think it's the tone that makes them think of it that way, because the tone is just very soft and it's kind of very menacing as well. Alright, let's go into the music theory section of the song review. So, the song is in A minor, which is a very kind of dark key. Even though it's in A minor, or a minor key, it has a lot of major chords. Like, it goes from A to the major 7th, to the 6th, which is F, and then back to the 7th. And the chords pass by really quick. So they pass by rather quickly. And even though the song is kind of set up around that chord progression 1, 7, 6, 7, it actually changes at the end of the verse. We go from F to E dominant 7, which is the 5-7. And then the A minor, and then to Romeo and Juliet. So there's actually like 2 chord progressions going on in this verse. And this section actually repeats more so in the second verse. But yeah, like listen kind of how like this goes like with the vocals, because it's kind of interesting. And like, listen to how fast these chords swing by with the vocals or with the lyrics. All our times have gone. F, G, here, but now they're gone. Then we get into the second chord progression. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. So the chords like just swing by, and it's like, it's really fast. And when it goes with that soft tone of voice, it's kind of like the urgency behind it. It's like you have a soft voice, but there's a lot of urgency within the chord progression because they're really quick. And the chorus is a pretty simple chord progression. Just goes from 7 to 1, which is pretty interesting. It's like almost like a 2-chord progression. And also the riff, the guitar riff, that first riff that you hear, that G kind of lends the 1 chord to kind of be like a minor 7th. So it kind of has that minor 7th sound. And then the G, the G is nothing special. We go, and then we double the root. But the F, the 6 hits this G, which kind of makes it sound like a major 2nd chord. It's not official in their composition. Everything that's kind of like written on this song, they just call this a 6th chord. But the riff kind of makes it have that major 2nd sound, which is actually a heavenly sound. Also, of course, we can't avoid talking about the cowbell, the whole Saturday Night Live sketch that made that cowbell really popular, almost like a meme in the old days. That cowbell, it's good. But something that gets overlooked a lot with the percussion aspect of this song. Yes, the cowbell is really good, but if you listen really closely, you can hear a cuero, which is like this thing that you like, and it just randomly fits so well like that in combination with the cowbell. And there's a lot of speculation on like who played the cowbell. People remember it differently, so it's pretty cool. But whoever played it, it's sitting with a stick, but it's a really cool part. It's very iconic, and honestly, it made the song less scary for me once I heard all the jokes. Another cool thing is the lead guitar part. It doesn't do a counter melody per se, where it's like playing during the vocals, but every time there's a vocal break, the lead guitar will actually take over the melody, and I feel like it's always like kind of pulsating, like it's doing something different a lot of the times. Also, the break, the instrumental break in the middle. Now, I think this part, I can't really do it justice on here, but it's just like everything that's really tense about the situation of the song is in this part. They don't do anything vocally here, but it's all told with instruments, and it's all very intense, and it's kind of like leading to that decision, almost like it's the waiting period to see if she accepts death. Like, this is the wait, and it's just very tense here. Really nice guitar riff and really nice guitar leads, and the drum part is also really good. And I think what adds more seriousness to the whole situation is the snare drum 16th notes just kind of going faster and faster and faster. Also, the ending to the song kind of fades out, and if you listen to the bass line, it's just like, it's really wacky, and it's like, whoa, like that bass line and the whole rhythm side, the whole drums and bass, they're just like kind of going crazy during that intro. So as far as songs that you'll hear on the radio, even today you can still pop in an oldie station and this song will sometimes pop up, especially around this time of year. I'm sure DJs are feeling it. The song's around 5 minutes, so it kind of goes like longer than most pop songs today, 3 minutes. It's just so much packed into the song. And the original version, there's actually a longer intro. So the song was even longer without the studio or without the singles version. The only version I really heard, I think I've heard the original like one time in my life. But even like on compilation albums, it's always the radio release, because that one just, I think that one is better. I think it gets to the point faster. And it's more marketable without that long intro. Overall, I think the song gets an A+ from me. It checks all of the boxes that I like. Really good lyrics, solid instruments, impactful message. The song is not about nothing. Like, there's a lot of songs these days that are just about nothing, and it's crazy. Like, you'll read lyrics and they just make no sense, and it's crazy. So it's like so refreshing, like, to go back to songs written in the 70s and the 60s and see that lyrics were just so much more, and that instruments actually backed up what lyrics were saying. And you get a lot of that with even like bands like the Eagles. Like, they'll say the word high and then the instruments will hit a high note. And it's just like little things like that. The F chord, a heavenly sound, the singing style with the softer tone. It all complements like the message and the story of this song. So yeah, this one gets an A+ for me. I think it's really good, and if you haven't heard it, you really need to check it out. So what is your score on Don't Fear the Reaper? Go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And if you have any other songs you want me to dive in on and kind of analyze and review, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. And don't forget to check out this year's Halloween special on Phoenix Splash TV, where my band Phoenix Splash, we actually cover another very scary song called Final Struggle from a video game called SNK vs. Capcom Chaos. And that game also centers around death as well, much like this song. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. This is Josh from Phoenix Splash, signing off.